why people don't have hobbies anymore. I want to share my perspective of this and why I am noticing this more often than not. And before I dive into this topic, if this is the first time you're tuning in, feel free to check out some of the other videos that I have on this channel. The purpose of this YouTube channel is for me to pretty much share how I'm navigating through the modern world, right? So with cost of living on the rise, with all the division that we have right now, with it becoming a lot harder to live for the average person, that is pretty much what this channel is. So if you are a young person right now and you find that you are having a hard time living comfortably, then feel free to check this channel out and you might enjoy some of the topics that I am covering here. So that being said, I want to talk about why people, especially young folks, don't seem to have any real hobbies. And so when I say hobbies, I'm mainly talking about like, going out, meeting people, and, engaging in other things like that. And so for most people, like the average hobby is that people have is going to be something like playing video games, watching movies. It's mainly going to be in terms of like sitting inside your home and then just consuming something, right? Consuming some sort of media. And that's really the main hobbies that most people seem to have. So the thing that I've noticed when it comes to, especially as time has progressed, there are less third places, now compared to before, right? So before, 80s, 90s, 2000s even, you are not actively in school or at home, or at work. You have, typically some sort of a third place you go to, whether that is, the skate park, or you go to an arcade, you go to some sort of local event where you and your friends and family can hang out, and then you could often interact and meet people there. And so that is also one reason why a lot less people are meeting people, making friends and even dating. And so more people are just staying inside now versus before where you had other things to pursue. So this really comes down to the hustle culture that we're trapped in right now. And with cost of living on the rise, and with more jobs, demanding more hours from us, then it just makes it a lot harder to actually go out and do other things aside from, just staying in, right? So for the average person, they go to work 40 hours a week, then you come home, and oftentimes you feel so exhausted to the point that you don't really want to do anything except pretty much just relax, basically. And then you maybe watch a movie or something, or a TV show, or you doom scroll social media. And that seems to be like the most common thing that people are doing nowadays is you just go to work, you come home, you doom scroll Instagram or TikTok for a bit, and then you fall asleep, you wake up, and you do the exact same thing over and over again. So this is unfortunately the reality with most people. And I truly believe that the more cost of living continues to rise, then the harder it's going to be for the average person to actually go out and pursue other things, aside from just staying inside, basically, right? So that is pretty much what's happening right now. And I believe personally, the best thing that you could do if you are currently in that cycle, the best thing that you could do is, of course, try to make as much money as possible. Either that or try and live with less, basically, right? So if you can cut out any unnecessary expenses where you don't have to keep up working. If you, for example, if you have your own place, that might be harder to do. But if you are able to live a lot cheaper, maybe you can cut some things that you don't need out of your life, or you can maybe, make more money, then that's of course going to be the best thing that you could do, because that will of course free up some more time. So if you can get paid more for the same amount of hours that you're putting in, and hopefully it isn't something that is putting, like doing like manual labor where you're putting like strain on yourself, then you're more likely to have more flexibility to, of course, enjoy going out and doing other things aside from staying inside, basically. So my personal recommendation for that is either start some sort of online business or go into a high-paying career, learn something like sales, for example. That's something you could look into, but there are plenty of things you could look into for that. And I know for some that might be easier said than done, but that's really the best thing that I could, of course, suggest. So that being said, if you want to see what I do in terms of making money online, and maybe you want to learn more about that, then you could check out the URL down below. And that is a free training that I put together that goes over exactly how to make money, online, pretty much promoting different products. So you don't have to create anything yourself. You don't have to worry about customer service, shipping and fulfillment, none of that stuff. And your main goal is, of course, going to be getting eyeballs to a link, and that's really all you need to do. So as long as you can do that, then you can pretty much start to build income, maybe on the side of your 9 to 5. You could build up to a full-time income, and then, of course, perhaps free up some more of your time to where you could spend more time with family. So that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what your experience on this is, and give us a thumbs up, and take care. See you in the next one.